What's up, guys? Today I'm reviewing the CMTECK 330, which creates a very interesting solution to a very specific problem, but kind of caters only to that exact problem. Otherwise, it can be a somewhat underwhelming device. But let's dive right into this. What makes this device so interesting is it's both a speaker and a microphone, and the shape of what sort of resembles an Echo Dot. It is powered directly through the USB cord and delivers all the information to and from that connection. On the top you have a microphone mute button, a speaker mute button, and the volume up and down. Now, one of the flaws in this design is that the LED indicator lights for mute and speaker are impossible to see unless you're looking directly at them from above. I don't know if that's a flaw in what I have, but the visuality of them is very limited. So you can't really clearly see whether or not they are muted or not, which, I mean, for the future, that's probably very important to be able to know when you're muted and not. When this thing is designed specifically for conferencing. Now, that's what I meant when in the intro earlier, that this is made to solve a very specific problem to a very, it's a very specific solution to a very specific problem. As for general use, the speaker is actually pretty decent and can get kind of loud. You might be thinking to yourself that you should hold off until they actually try and make a abundantly better graphics card. But it's definitely tuned to be more for vocals. Anything like music or sound in movies and shows and just general sound, it can be a little on the lighter side, a little muddled. Even though it's loud, it doesn't have the best range. Vocals are always crisp and clear. Vocals always sound pretty good, but you're limited in the other aspects of the audio, especially because it's mono and not stereo. So you don't get the full spectrum of everything. But if you listen to everything at fairly low volumes, then you might not be able to tell, and you may just forget that you're listening to a mono speaker device. And the problem with a lot of cheaper speakers, if you're trying to go on the cheaper side of things, is that there's a lot of interference through the 3.5 millimeter jack. So having everything going through USB in and out can be pretty good, especially if you're limited on outlets and ports and things like that. So there is that. It's just you will be more limited in the range of audio, and you need to know that before you buy. But as for conferencing, I could see this being pretty useful. Just popping it into your laptop and getting it away from the noisy fans if your laptop has fans, or just the fact that the speaker is far louder and far superior to any laptop speaker, period, would be very helpful. And the microphone does work decently in the phone calls I made, or the voice chats I've made. Everyone's been able to hear me and say that I sound just as clear as I normally do with regular microphones, which is really the point, and probably half due to the software that you use to make your voice chats. So that being the specific problem, if you need to make a video or phone conferences for business, and you usually just carry around a laptop, this kind of helps in the fact that you can just pop it into the laptop, throw it on a table, and you're good to go, especially because this will go further away from the laptop because of the cord. And you won't be able to hear the keyboard that if you're typing, or just the noise from the fans, which a lot of times the microphones built into these things are right next to something that's making noise, so they're not the best for that. So this would solve that problem, especially for the fact that the USB power doesn't take that much, and you can get a relatively louder speaker. It also has a little bit of a bass at the bottom. You can squish that in, which is kind of cool, but again, it's tuned for vocals. It's not meant to be used as a main speaker, although you could use it as such if you wanted to. However, now that we go into the cons of it, the fact that there is a microphone into the speaker itself, most software will cancel out voices that are coming in through the speaker. it will to keep it from having feedback and people hearing themselves talking. So it is decent at that, and that is also, you know, kind of for whatever software you're using for those chats. However, I do not recommend using this for gaming because that's what I tested it on. I was playing with a friend, seeing if I could chat with him while playing a game with him and seeing whether or not he could hear me clearly and all that stuff, but he constantly had trouble hearing me over the in-game sounds because a lot of the sounds in the game, the music and all that, was playing through the microphone, and he couldn't pick me out from that. So I do not recommend that for this device. You will be disappointed, so do not do that. And another thing, it is not good for audio recording. Let me give an example of that. So now I'm doing all the recording through the device, and you can hear that it's not exactly ideal. There's definitely more speaker in this thing than there is a microphone. I'm not even sure exactly where they're hiding the microphone. You're gonna have people all around the room and all around a table. And to be fair, you easily would be this far away from the thing and talking. As a recording device, I wouldn't exactly recommend it because it's just not meant for that per se. Again, this is a specific solution to a specific problem, and that's for voice conferencing, which with how small this thing is, throwing it in a bag is easy to do and convenient to do. It works on both Mac and Windows, not Android or Linux. So if that's significant to you, then now you know. So for voice recording, unless I'm speaking directly into it, it's not that great. In conclusion, if you're just looking for a USB speaker that is low in power and just easy to hide somewhere, since this is smaller than most speakers, then this can work for that. If you're a business person that needs a voice chat hardware, this actually will serve the purpose well. It'll do a good job. Despite its minor flaws and lack of versatility, I'd say it's for specific niches out there. So, I mean, if you've seen this video and gathered all the information that you need to know whether this is the right decision for you, great. Hope I helped, and I'll see you guys in the next video.